Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Wow! One would like to think that these people only exist in TV shows and satire. I'm sorry you had to go through that, OP. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Oh, you volunteered? That must mean you'll work for free for me, too. Background: I'm a private tutor, math, chemistry, and ACT/SAT prep. I work for a company where I have my own little office that matches me with clients and takes care of the initial work with the families. This makes my life infinitely easier compared to when I was freelancing, but I still kept working with a couple of families that I met while freelancing when I started working at the company. One such family is just wonderful. Their son Paul has improved tenfold in the last 2 years, and they've become like a second family to me. I also volunteer my time at a children's hospital. I play games with the younger children that are too sick to live at home, and I tutor some of the older kids that have to miss school due to their illness. The ones that live at the hospital have dedicated schooling programs, but I work with the ones that miss a few days at a time for various procedures so they don't get behind on their schoolwork. Here's the story. My star student, Paul, got all A's and B's on his most recent report card, so his family took me out for a nice dinner. During the dinner, a friend of the parents came up to say hello. Naturally, they introduced me as Paul's tutor. The friend, Crazy Mom, or CM, responds, "Oh, but Paul is so smart. He couldn't possibly need a private tutor." I tried to make a joke of it, saying, "Well, he's doing so well because I'm his tutor, haha." Everyone laughed, but then this lady doubles down and says to the parents, "You all should send her over to my house. You only got the one. She needs to whip all my crazy boys into shape." So then I politely say, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm not taking new clients." And CM goes, "Well, they should just lend you out for a few afternoons, haha." The vibe was very uncomfortable after that, but she left a few minutes later. At this point, I didn't think anything of it. CM was probably just trying and failing to be funny. But then a couple of days later, Paul was over at CM's home visiting his friend, and CM asked Paul for my phone number. Paul is very sweet, but also very dense, so he gave her my number. The phone call. CM: "Hello, is this OP?" Me: "Hello, yes it is. Who's this?" CM: "This is CM. We met at restaurant the other night. Paul gave me your number." Me: "Oh, he did." Makes mental note to punish Paul with trigonometry worksheet. "What can I help you with?" CM: "I would like to schedule a tutoring session for my boys." Me: "I'm sorry, I only take on new clients through my company. I'd be happy to connect you with them, and then you can request." CM: "But Paul said you do free tutoring on Saturdays." Me: What? Are you talking about my volunteering at the hospital?" CM: "Yes. If you have time to work for those kids for free, surely you can take on just 1 extra hour for 2 sweet kids." Me: "I'm sorry, ma'am, but volunteering and working are just 2 completely different things. I'm not sure how to explain this any more clearly." CM: "Well, what if I send my kids to the hospital?" Me: "What?" CM: "Yeah, I can send my kids to the hospital and you can just squeeze them in while you're working on the other kids there." Me: "Ma'am, I'm really not sure what to say, but the answer is no. I'm sorry, I'd be delighted to connect you with the company I work for. You can even request me as a tutor and they'll match you with me. I just can't take on any more clients personally, as I said." CM: "No, I can't do that. Name of company is too expensive." Me: "Well, ma'am, that's my rate. If you'd like a cheaper tutor, I could refer you to some other companies that are less expensive. There are also online tutors that are pretty cheap." CM: "But you already work for free at the hospital. You don't make those kids pay out the nose. This isn't fair." Me: "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but the answer is no. I'm hanging up now." So I hung up on her. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. The whole conversation was just so incredibly surreal that I was stunned into inaction. I told Paul's mom what happened, and she apologized profusely, saying that she would talk to CM. I just hope this whack job doesn't call my company and complain about me or write a bad review or something. And our second story. Help my poor husband. I currently work at a service desk. Seeing, hearing, witnessing totally over-the-top cuckoo crazy behavior is nothing new. Last night, I had a topper. A literal cherry that'll sit on the top of my crazy cake until the next one. I answered the service desk phone to find a woman who opens the conversation with, "My husband is in the store. I'm calling from home. He called me and he's lost. He was told to go to the back of the store to find moving boxes. He's looking for a sofa box and he can't find it. I know I saw them there. The last person I talked to told me you had them." My head, a sofa-sized box? A box? No, lady. What I say is, I'm sorry, but I do not believe we have boxes large enough to fit a sofa. We have plastic bags large enough to fit a mattress, but we do not have sofa-sized boxes in store. Her, I just spoke to someone else who said you did have them, and my poor husband is lost and can't find them. I want you to go find my husband and help him now. Me, I'm sorry, I can do an overhead and have someone from the department meet him, but I cannot leave the desk. Our moving supplies are located on the back wall in Bay 13. Please ask him to stay where he is and someone will be there shortly. I hang up and call the department, who says they're on their way. A few minutes later, I get a call from the same woman who says her husband just called her and he's walked from toilets to lighting. He's not seen any sofa-sized moving boxes. There's no one anywhere to help him. FYI, I asked her to tell him to stay put, but she again tells me her poor husband is lost in the back of the store and demands I leave the desk to find him. As if he's lost in the forest with blindfolds on and maybe 12 years old at best. Me, ma'am, I cannot leave the desk. I've called for assistance for your husband. Please ask him to stay where he is and someone will be there shortly. I'm sorry he appears to be looking for something we do not have in the store. Her, are you customer service? What the hell is your job? My husband is lost in the back of the store. No one's there. He's lost and alone. My poor husband is all alone. I'm trying to reassure her someone is on the way to help while letting her know we do not have sofa-sized boxes. She's screaming at me about her poor lost husband and how much I suck. At this point, I'm 20 minutes into this woman and we have actual people staring at me in line wanting help. One of my coworkers comes up behind me and says, "Oops," as she presses the hang-up button, disconnecting me from the screaming mother-wife in mid-conversation. My first thought is, damn it, she has my name. To be honest, I'm glad to be out of the endless mother-wife spiral and her clueless husband who keeps calling his wife instead of staying put or asking for help himself. I start helping customers in line. Sure enough, a few minutes later, she calls back. A coworker sees her name on the caller ID and simply transfers it to a mod. Long story short, she made a complaint on me for hanging up on her and not being helpful. My manager goes to the back of the store, finds her wandering little lost husband. After a few minutes of conversation, my mod says, "We do not have sofa-sized boxes." The husband says, "Oh, did my wife call you?" "Yeah, she's crazy." Like a cardboard box for a sofa? What planet is she from? And our next story. My ex-boss, who replaced me with his son, now wants me back. I was laid off due to nepotism. My boss wanted his son, who just got out of the design school, to replace me as senior designer. I do logo design and branding, and I'm really good at it. Decided to start my own business where I was their direct competitor. Many of his clients for whom I did the branding and logos asked me if I could take up their work in my new business, but I had to refuse for I had a contract with my ex-boss. But things are going really well for me. My clients love my work, and I had a tough start because I didn't know anything about owning my own business, but now everything is lining up, and yesterday I got a call from my previous boss, and he wants me back and has offered me a raise as well. It's significantly more than what he paid me and even more than what I'm making now, but now I have my own business and I love it. I love being my own boss. I figured out how to get clients and they actually are in trouble. I heard they're overdue on deliveries and some of their major clients left. And our last story. HOA asked me to repaint my garage, now doesn't like the color I painted it. I live in a subdivision of around 60 houses that has an HOA ran by elected neighbors that live in the subdivision. There's no property management company or anything like that. Recently, they sent me a letter telling me I needed to paint my garage because the paint was starting to fade on it and said I had 30 days to correct it or I would be fined $100 a month or legal action taken against me. They cited part of the covenants that I'm violating as maintenance of the house from the section that reads, Owner's responsibility for maintenance of lot/house, etc. Owners of lot shall be responsible at all times for all portions, whether exterior or interior, of the lot owned by the owner, as well as all improvements thereon, including but not limited to the house, and shall be responsible for maintenance, upkeep, and compliance with all requirements of these covenants. If there's more than one owner of the lot, each owner is jointly and severally liable for all requirements set forth in these covenants. Failure or refusal of one or more owners to comply with any term, condition, or requirement of these covenants within a reasonable time after written notice thereof shall be grounds for actions to recover sums due, for all damages or injunctive relief, or both, and the reimbursement of all attorney's fees incurred in such connection therewith, and interest on all amounts at the highest lawful rate. There are other covenants about keeping the yard weed-free, not parking RVs and such in our yard. No signs in your yard over 6 feet wide, but nothing about faded paint or anything like that. They've cited this same section to us saying we needed to paint our shutters. My house is almost entirely brick, and the only parts that are painted is the trim in the area above the garage, which are neutral brownish gray colors. I went ahead and painted my garage a neutral light beige color, hoping that it would last longer than the darker brownish gray it was painted before. This was apparently unacceptable to the HOA board, and they're now saying I must repaint it to match the existing trim of the house, or they'll be contacting their lawyer. Nothing in any of the other covenants say anything about colors you can paint your house or anything like that, but they're trying to say they have the authority to keep the theme of the neighborhood. I wasn't doing anything crazy with the colors and can't believe they're objecting to a neutral color like this for not matching. I asked them to show me in the covenants where it says what color I can paint my house, and they couldn't, but tried to say it was open to legal interpretation, and I had a duty to keep my house French country themed, which apparently my light beige garage is violating. After talking with the board, I went around the neighborhood, and probably 15% of the houses, the garage door does not perfectly match the existing trim of the house. One of the houses that matches the least belongs to one of the HOA directors. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.